Okay, well, welcome. Welcome again to our program. We have evolved and we are now moving into section 4, Midlife Encore, Opportunities and Experiences. Chapter 14, we gave you some ideas on it last time. And now we're rolling to our final conclusion on why this program is so great and why it's going to make a difference in your life. And you can take that one to the bank. The chart you have in front of you right now is not new to you. As we've done before, we've seen that our purpose is to get ourselves moving through life in a way that doesn't just regard us going on a plateau and dying off too early. It allows us to start rethinking who we're going to become and plan and aspire to a whole new level of knowledge and performance and happiness. And along the areas of self-fulfillment, high performance, the common good, and societal enlightenment, we're looking for the whole enchilada here. We want to be part of what this life offers and we want to experience it. Now, the interesting thing about this program is because it's holistic and it's integrative and it's cross-disciplinary, it's a little bit of a challenge to go straight line. It's a little bit challenging to go from this point to this point to this point without leaving other things that are important out. So we had to create an architecture that said, okay, let's put the chapters in some kind of sequential order that made some sense, while at the same time allowing them to do some duty in their own domains. So you see these things are grouped in ways that allow us to talk about the cross learning and cross support that occurs at each of these domains. So right now we're all the way down here to 15 because we've talked about the foundational chapters here. We've talked about our engine which drives all this learning and this focus on creating a framework for doing this work. We talked about applying what we learned here to the various chapters, the personal, the organizational, the community, and the social. And so we've now talked about where we could make an impact in life here. We've moved into our senior years, at least to the midlife point. We've talked a little bit in chapter 14 about how it was, what the environment's like as we come through the, let's say, 45 to 55 period of life. And now we're at the point of sort of bringing this whole thing together and trying to show that it's integrated, it's holistic, it applies to us as people, as managers, as leaders, as citizens. And we're eventually going to drive this right on home to a couple of ebooks that we can produce for you as part of your program, as part of your learning program, as part of your walk away from this program. You get a chance to write your own book. So we're very happy with what we've done so far. We're very happy with the conversations that we've had along the way. We're very happy that we're at a point of saying, see, we told you so. It does come together. If you'll hang in there for a while with us, we promise you that it'll be a good experience and a good learning experience. Before I go any further though, I wanted to just finish putting a couple of points on as far as this whole chapter 15 focus is concerned. And I have a little phrase I'd like to read to you here that I've already prepared. I'm not sure if you all agree to this, but this is what some people have said. In the decades ahead, the boomers will complete Americans' transformation into a gerontocracy as they take control of the nation's social and economic power. You feel powerful? All of you who are 45 and above, are you ready to take power? Because some people believe that this nation is going to go into a gerontocracy, and that's our major focus. Much of the energy is still going to come from the people who are the leaders now. From the demographically and politically dominant position, they will have the potential to realize their full intellectual, social, and political influence. Not as baby boomers, but as elders. So we're going to start to use elders as our mature term for those of us who happen to be in that phase. We are not babies any longer. We are the elders of the society. And that is the work that we are doing, and we are helping society all the way through the rest of our life accomplish its goals and objectives. An interesting diagram to help clarify how important this is that we've seen this before, but I didn't have on the top of it this arrangement of different kinds of life management programs. Generally speaking, folks who are involved in Encore life management and in life planning and in senior advisement, they are part of a group of people who spend most of their time focusing on the 50s through the 80s to make sure that they have the best in healthcare, that they have the best in finances. They work to make sure that our elderly population, our elders, if you will, have a chance to live a good, rewarding lifestyle. What we don't want to overlook, though, and the large part of that is what the American Learnership Forum brings to the conversation, is that life management really should begin, for adults, really should begin somewhere around 25. This is the period of time where a lot of people have gone through the basic formal education through maybe a couple of college degrees, maybe for a junior college, maybe for a four-year degree, maybe even a master's degree. It's not the majority of our people, but there's a large part. But there's one thing they have in common, and I can say this for sure because I have a grandson in this mode. After they get their degree in May, in June they move back home with mom. And even though he plans on getting married soon, he's back home with mom because he has a job and it pays well, but why should he spend money for things he doesn't need right yet? So they come home, the prolonged adolescence, they come home and they stay home for a period of time until they get ready to move out into their life-making experience with wives and children and social clubs and all kinds of things they do, and to start to manage a career. All that time is time they're learning, and everybody's growing during that period of time. The question is, once you've done 20 or 25 years of that through your early adult, there is a time, and we don't normally think that's going to happen to us, but there's a time when we start to say, I've been doing this for a long time and living this way for a long time, and I'm not sure that this is getting me what I want. Or at least I've learned some things over the last 15 or 20 years that I don't want to do anymore. I think I need a break and I need to go in a new direction. So the work that we do is to engage people to say you're entitled to that. People go through that, but if you're going to do it, try to put yourself on a career path or on a life path that frees you up, that opens you up, that finds new opportunities and helps you grow in self-fulfillment, high performance, the common good, and make a contribution to social enlightenment. Do not allow yourself to just simply say, well, my best years are behind me and I'm just going to hang on, get my Social Security if I still can, and then whatever happens in the end, I don't have any control over it. I personally have seen too many people die in this particular mode. We've got to get more people striving, producing, feeling good about themselves for a longer period of time. Now, the American Learnership Forum, this program which you've seen before, strong on personal, organizational, community, and societal development and enlightenment. But we were prepared and have been prepared for many years to bring people up to that point around 50 where they would have had a chance to have a good career, a good life, and then make some plans for the future. It's just recently that we started to look around us to find out that there were many other organizations doing a very nice piece of work and helping people transition into these future years and giving them hope and giving them tools and skills in order to really have this advanced, very happy, very productive life. And so we have now partnered with a number of organizations. And by doing that, we have extended our life management now into pursuing an encore career. Just what needs to be done, what could we do, and could we help? We have extended ourselves to take a look at life planning from the point of view of 50s and 60-year-olds. What's left to be planned and how do you do that? We've extended ourselves to think more about how do you advise seniors and people of that age to still experience growth and help them grow when they're having perhaps some problems with finances or a problem like that. And lastly, the American Learnership Appendix is where we have the skills and ideas concerning your legacy and what you can do to build a nice legacy and leave something behind to the others. You actually become a mentor for those who follow. The Encore Network is a group of folks that have spent a lot of time, and I've been to one of their programs where they give awards for people who do a lot of extraordinary things in helping their communities, using basically the resources and assets that people have acquired later in life and the time and energy that people have decided to dedicate to helping some other people. It's usually during this generative stage of life where people 50s and 60s start saying, I've done pretty well, I'd like to do better, but what can I do for others too? And it's during this generativity stage where it becomes so important for people to reach out and look out and start to understand, well, maybe I haven't done as much for society or for other people I need to do. And part of that in Encore is to get people to take action. Sometimes action is not so easy to come by. We ask people to learn what is out there, do an assessment of what's there, get comfortable with uncertainty, ask others for assistance, update our skills, and go do things. Boy, that sounds so simple. Did you ever get hung up trying to figure out, how do I self-assess? Or, I don't like uncertainty because every time I turn around, something uncertain is happening. We like predictability when we get older. But it's about engaging others, constantly learning, constantly growing, and go do things. Even small things count to people who perhaps have nothing going for them. So the important thing here is the Encore organization seems to have figured it out how to get many movements going on so people grow and help other people in their lives. So it's a win-win-win for everybody involved. Another organization that's doing some nice work is the Life Planning Network, where people who have ideas and skills and so forth on how to enrich people's second life or the second half of their life, they bring their own skills in family planning, in health, in spirituality, and they bring it to a discussion place where their mission is to create new knowledge and resources that help people in their later lives and thus benefit society. So these folks are focused on helping answer the questions, what is my purpose? Have you ever thought about what my purpose is? Should we have a meeting on purpose? Maybe we could talk about purpose. What legacy? Oh, legacy, do we leave legacies? Well, maybe it might be good. Children usually like to see a little bit of legacy with a dollar sign on it. And maybe we don't have so much to leave to them. Maybe we should let them know in advance. Our spiritual nature is not necessarily only religion, it's just how you feel about the life here on the planet itself and how warmly you feel about it. And it's about living authentically and on purpose. That the whole idea of having a head and a heart contributing from both to both to help other people live a better life, that's in the nature of being in the senior set, the folks getting older and becoming more willing to contribute what they can. And one of the most serious, I say serious in the standpoint of having a good mixture of the practical with sort of the academic or the educational, is the organization known as the Certified Senior Advisors, who have people who specialize in the health areas. Their lives, their working careers in the health area, or they're in the financial area, or they work on state programs. These people are finalizing and bringing to closure their own lives' work within their particular industries. And they're working now in the senior level, helping people understand that life is different at this stage, what is different, how it's different, and how they might accommodate the changes that they're having to face. So we have, and the American Learnership Forum has found, that there's a natural connection in doing life management and personal branding for people who are in their 20s and energetic 30s and 40s and 50s competing for a piece of the socioeconomic apple here. And there's a lot of things we can do because we are coaches, we are experienced consultants, and we have people that have all kinds of academic and practical skills and training. But when we come into the life transition mode, we come into the senior zone, we have to rely upon and work with people who know that field better, and then we can help them achieve their goals too. So we see this as a win-win opportunity. And the way we do it, Although when you look at it, you say, well, that's helpful. The way we do it is we rethink from 25 to 80. What kinds of transitions, what types of skills, what kinds of personal or work or community or societal issues and things do we have to face at different times for different reasons? And we know that being young is different than being old. We know that when you're growing a family, it's different than when you're retiring. We know that there are different times of life, and we know that it's sort of a building and an integrating experience that people go through. And so just once again, in our work, there's a lot of work into the interdisciplinary reasoning competencies and how to build a capability, an architecture that you can bring forward in life to the personal, organizational, social, and community areas. That together and integrated allows you to move into your midlife change, building on what you learned. We think it's unfortunate whenever there's a situation that someone just finds themselves in the middle of a middle life problem. They've left their job, their family has not worked out too well, and we find people just wondering, what happened to me? What happened to this life I used to have? It's much better if you could build a capability, an ability to deal with the complexity that life has, so you're prepared for this stage so that you can take control of it. In the end, our final deliverable is to say we can educate you, we can work with you, we can help you academically understand some things, we can take real life performance issues and the best practices, and we can tell stories about what we've learned and how it works. But in the end, we think that every person is entitled to have their own story. And so we have set up a situation in which not only could you have the presentation similar to the one I've been making to you for your own posterity, we can actually do an ebook which is focused on your integral life work, wealth, health, and legacy. We can do an ebook on personal branding, and we can do a combination of those documents. So whatever you need to showcase the fact that you have had periods of achievement, you've accomplished new things, and you're making a contribution, we can record that for you because it makes a big addition to your life package. I can only tell you I've been to a number of funerals, one within the last few weeks, and a person died and they had never recorded really anything. So we had a woman who died, lots of pictures of her loving her grandchildren, and really no information about what she ever thought, what she ever knew, what she ever cared about, what her contribution was to life, what her children took for her. Nobody bothered to record her deepest feelings. And we didn't really know her when she died. And we think that that's a sad situation. Everybody's entitled to be heard sometime. And it's our goal to get as many people prepared and tell that story so that they have that benefit when they pass on. And that's the closure for this particular session. The only thing I can say is that if I am not for myself, who will be? If I am only for myself, what am I? If not now, when? Let's get started in doing some good work. Thank you.